everybody, and welcome to Dee Talk Live, Thursdays on the What Dee Thinks channel. How is everybody today? How are you all feeling? Not 110%, I can imagine, with tonight's announcement. What I want to talk about today obviously has a lot to do with what we're going through in a different way. For everybody, it's going to be quite different, and the feelings are going to be different, and how we're trying to work out our life circumstances is going to be a little bit different. But what I want you guys to know is that everything will be okay, regardless of how we're feeling presently. Always know that we will be okay. And always try and stay in that present, oh my God, I can't even say it, present mindset. We've been here so many times, and I do agree something really needs to change, because it is coming up to a point now where it's just perceived as a complete joke, in my opinion. Okay, so many things have happened to us throughout our lives, and yes, we're here living this human experience specifically at this moment for a reason. You're here for a reason at this moment, right? And the reason you're here at this specific moment is to live this experience. Who would have thought you would have been here at this specific time living in this COVID life? Okay, but there are prime principles and ways of actually dealing with what's actually going on. And the way we think about things, which is what I had spoken about previously in regards to the law of attraction as well. Because remember, what you think about, you bring about. And there is so many of us that think the same way, possibly in one way. And then that's where the energy gets conceived and it happens, right? So try and think positively. Try and, do things that don't set your mind alight or set it to overthink, okay? Don't watch TV, number one. That's the biggest mistake so many people make, okay? Don't watch TV. You don't need to watch TV. What they basically say doesn't necessarily mean it's what's going to happen, okay? Always rely on the instincts within yourselves. You're able to use that intuition, that wonderful intuition of yours. And that's why I wanted to give a little bit more of a gentle approach to the matter at hand tonight, especially. Don't beat yourselves up. Don't be angry. Create love and light around your surroundings in order to bring that to you, okay? The more anger, the more frustration we have, and I know it's hard not to be this way, because obviously who wants to be locked up in their house for, an amount of time, all right? But in saying that though, make the time you have worthwhile, and surround yourself with that positivity, because then what happens? Positivity surrounds you, and then you're out of the lockdown. Remember, energy, you've got to be a believer, and you've got to try and understand that there's something bigger than us. There's something bigger out there, okay? It's not all about what you actually see, because it's a test, it's a lesson, and that's why we're here. That's why we're actually living this life experience, because you chose to be here, and so did I, which is an amazing time to be alive, right? Regardless, okay? Tonight's topic is about COVID, and it's about my beautiful millennials, current Gen X, and per se, that I love and, I represent, because I'm their mentor. It's about the university students. It's about the creative minds that are going to grace our planet in years to come and are going to become so freaking amazing, right? It's about them. What are they going through at the moment? Because remember, we all actually take on board specific things quite differently, and the feelings are different as well. And for the younger generation, they haven't been around as long as many of the other generations had been, all right? Through world wars, through crises, through traumas, through, these massive life occurrences that so many other people have been through and previous generations had been through, okay? And at the moment, they are affected by COVID, and they are affected in transitioning from the Year 12 sphere to the university sphere, because university to them is so exciting, it's so important, it's the next phase in their lives. But they're a mountain to actually sit at home and look at a screen and do their work. Of course you're going to get frustrated, and of course you're not going to be as excited and disappointed, because the experience that they were promised was so much more different. Especially when I was growing up, watching all those American movies, the college movies, about going away and about, going away to college and being in those specific clubs. What were they called now? I'm trying to think. It was on the top of my head, it's still there. If anybody knows what that word is, let me know. I think it starts with F, but I can't remember. Anyway, so we look forward to going and meeting new people, right? Because the people necessarily from our high school don't actually migrate with us to our new place of education, which we then find other people, okay? And, we meet other people, and that's how connections form. That's how our life evolves, because everybody's, in our life for a specific reason. It's part of the puzzle, it's part of the creation, and it's part of, the beautiful story that we create for ourselves, because we meet new people along the way as we go on, especially in life. And university is that prime example, because so many people, right, have met so many different people, but through university, because that's where the human interaction happens. That's where those connections happen. Fraternity, yes, that's the actual word. Thank you, Jimmy, so much. Fraternity, yeah. So when, that whole idea, it's the idealistic view, because, we've been molded to think that, hey, I'm going to go to university and, I'm going to be part of a fraternity or part of a club, because, so many universities have got different clubs. Especially, myself, we had, a newspaper or, a writing sort of thing. And I was part of that, of course, because it's what I loved doing. Okay? But that's what it's called. It's a fraternity, right? So when we actually go into university, it's exciting, because it's not only about, meeting new people, but it's also about reprimanding those social skills that have been hidden from us, because we haven't found many others to connect on that level. And it's becoming more and more important, because adulthood is such a major subject for them, they get excited. I remember when I was young, I'm like, I can't wait to get older and, get into my job and, continue on with my life, because it's going to be so exciting and I'm going to meet so many different people. And university was a blast for me. We had the best time. We had so many social groups. We used to go out all the time. You make friends, and that's what's limiting these poor kids at the moment, because they're not able to have that social sphere of interaction. And many of my friends at the moment, they are doing university at home. They're doing online learning, and it's boring them. It's not enticing them. It's not, setting their hearts on fire. It's not overstimulating their minds, because they don't have anybody to actually interact with, right? If it be with the teacher, because when you've got that connection, when you've got that sort of relationship with your teacher, it comes in a somewhat different way, and you're able to have that connection. If you want to ask a question, they're there, instead of having to email them or, Zoom call them. So it's quite impersonal. It's not personal. And that's what we're talking about tonight, because, a nephew of mine as well, he's actually dropped out due to the fact that that social interaction was taken away from him, because he was so over it. He's like, I'm so over this COVID. I can't, go be online. It's boring. It's not stimulating me on a social level, because that's what they want. That they want to go out there. They want to meet new people, they want to basically have that sort of energy in terms of each other. They want to get out there and really experience what a university life is all about. And they've been deprived. They've been deprived of actually having that opportunity. And of course, many of them will get up and say, see you later, I'm not doing this. I'd rather go into the workforce where I'm actually able to meet people, even though it's in a COVID sphere. All right? And, other people, they've continued and maybe they're a little bit more introverted, I guess. But when it comes down to it, having that social interaction, having that connectivity with someone, and, being able to share your opinions upon a matter, or even working in a group assignment, because we used to have to do that too. It was part of the prerequisite. You meet different people and you're able to not only respect their opinions, but get a different approach on what you're studying. So it's sort of like it's helping you learn in a different way, because it makes you realize that there's so many different people out there that are going to look at learning in a different way as well. They're going to learn because everybody learns in a different way too. So you'd be able to share your ideas, your creativity, your opinions, those things that you cherish so much, that you want to express, that you want people to know, with someone. You're by yourself, you're behind a computer, it would bore me. I do that with my work, which is fair enough, but it's not as though I'm at university. I love writing, I love doing, because it's part of my work. But when we're talking about university, if I had to sit there and just, the whole time be on that computer and not be able to talk to someone, and how I love talking, guys, come on. I'd be like, what is this? Is this what they've said to me is university? Like, is this what I was looking forward to? You'd be really disappointed. And, I've got to hand it to my nephew, He has done a great thing by actually taking it by the reins and doing something in order to make him happy. And it's his opportunity at the end of the day. And, not to say that I don't want him to go back into education, but if that's just for now and that's how he feels for now, then by all means do it. You have to respect and understand and be, non-judgmental about things like this. But you've got to see where they're coming from as well. And so many people, think it's an easy basket because they don't find themselves, there. For a year 12, especially early learning, coming up to, that sort of place where you're starting your life, it's quite difficult, because they're only finding themselves in life. They're only actually becoming an adult. And, the experience isn't, there. And they've seen the experiences that their parents have had. And obviously, they're going to compare them and say, what the hell is this? Like, how does this even fit into what, ideally, you guys even told me? I don't understand. Yes, we're in changing times. We're in a changing world, a dynamic. But at the end of the day, it's just silly that it has to come to this specific, point where people need to, realize that it's not even about this. It's more about what you guys want and what you have to do to get there. You got to stop letting someone or something try and ruin that beautiful magical spark that you have inside of you, that light, and use that specific light in order to create your surroundings as being so magical as they should be, in a positive sphere, which is what I've talked about all the time. We always talk about positivity, and I, stress it so many times, because yes, we are going through a specific thing or whatever and stuff. It doesn't mean we're going to die. It doesn't mean, we're going to, everything's going to be negative and blah, 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 right? Get that gutter out of your head, right? It just means that we've got to work harder with ourselves and on ourselves, and really understand what will drive us towards the happiness that we deserve, regardless of what situation we find ourselves in. What's going to work for you? What's going to really, really work for you and make you happy? Okay? That's what I'm trying to stress, especially in regards to the situation that we've been placed in at the moment. Okay? Regardless of what's going on, what are you going to do to take control of your life to make it that much more better and that much more positive? Have you even asked yourself these questions? And especially to my youngins, right? Especially to my beautiful millennials, to my beautiful year 12 students, to the next gen coming up, right? And especially when they're really young and they don't understand at the moment, but they will one day, right? Do what makes you happy and don't let these specific circumstances weigh you down, okay? Because it's part of the journey. Do what drives you crazy. I understand that it's not the way that you've always wanted it to be or pictured it to be, but you know what? You've got to make do with what you have at the moment, okay? Regardless if everything's taken away from you, okay? You can do this. so many things have happened, in life. So many people have, in regards to world wars, in regards to famine, in regards to specific, things, but they survived. And, we're here. We're through that generation. We've come out, being so magnificent and powerful, and we can still keep going, So, and yes, I understand, Sammy, the hard part is to stop and start, and I get it, because you're given a bit of freedom, and it's taken away from you, and I get that. And I don't like it either. I don't agree with it either. I'm not saying that it's a great way of doing what you have to do. But use that positivity regardless, even if it's a stop-start some way, okay, to make you still feel that good, content feeling that I always talk about, and things will get better. Things will, eventually get to where they're supposed to get to, because there's a lot of stuff going on, especially spiritually speaking. And for those who know me, I am very spiritual and I know a lot. Okay, that's why I'm just saying to you guys, keep your center. Be presently aware, do those things that get out in nature. We can still go for walks, do simple things, and at the end of the day, really, really stand in that sovereignty, and don't let people undermine, what you believe, because you know yourself. You're able to pinpoint within yourself what's right and what's wrong, and don't listen to the news. I've said it a million times. Don't listen to it. Because the more you listen to it, the more ideas get into your mind. And what happens? Overthinking, right? What you bring about, what you think about, you bring about, really. So stand in that positive mindset and, do what you have to do. But yes, COVID has affected the transition for year 12 going into year 12 or, university or further study, because of what's going on. But as I've said to them, they've got to make these choices by themselves, and especially knowing that, yes, it's not going to get better in 2 seconds, but they need to understand that, it's not exactly, times have changed. It's not going to be the way that it was, but do things for you, especially, as I've said, my nephew. He did what he had to do because he didn't want to be just behind a computer and doing no social interaction, no social skills with people. No communication, yes, Zoom, blah, 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 whatever, emails, right? You need that connection. Human interaction and connection is the most important given fact that we were on this earth for, because it's beautiful and you're sharing that beautiful energy. Thank you again to everybody for joining me tonight on another Dee Talk Live. Please take care of yourselves, and as I've said, always try and stay in that positive mindset, talk to people around you, get yourselves out there, even in nature, even if it's for like 5 minutes, and just, be grateful for what we actually have. Be grateful for what you have at the moment. Don't let, lockdowns and etc., and news and whatever, as I've said, don't watch it, get you down. And I'm wishing my beautiful millennials and my future generations and all you people so much love and light. Take care of yourselves. Please look after yourselves. And also thank you again to those who have donated to Bully Zero, the charity that I'm fundraising for next year for Channel 7. I'll be on Adventure All Stars for those of you who do not know. The link to donate is on top of my Instagram, What Dee Thinks profile. Also on tonight's Dee Talk Live Facebook page as well. I don't even know what I'm saying. Yes, have an amazing evening, and keep up that positivity, keep up the What Dee Thinks spirit. Remember that, and remember me. Just pretend I'm in front of you and just saying it to you. Come on, you can do this. Believe in yourself. Because the magic and the creativity you have, no one has. Dee is out. The energy. I'm just sending you guys so much love and light. Please take care. Dee's out. Bye. See you guys next week. Love